Hello, I'm back with Jimmy Wicks, Madeline Hunter, and Stone Weber to discuss what the national college football landscape looks like this weekend and whether the Sooners will bring home a Week 3 win. Number 12 BYU is headed on the road to face 25 Oregon. Will the Cougars stay unbeaten or will the Ducks take care of business?
BYU has one of the best resumes in college football with a huge win over Baylor at home last week, while Oregon got stomped by the only team that can tie their own shoes. BYU also has one of the most balanced offenses in the country, and Oregon have allowed over 375 yards a game to start the season. I think there's going to be some growing pains in this Dan Lanning squad, and I think BYU has a big game on the ground again to beat the Ducks at Autzen Stadium.
I'm going to go with BYU as well. What a win for BYU against Baylor last weekend after missing not one, but 2 game-winning field goals, giving them a 2-0 record so far. They also won without their 2 best wide receivers. QB Jaron Hall threw for 261 yards and a touchdown while catching another score, and with Hall slinging the rock like a pro, this Cougars team can score on anybody. If BYU can force some Oregon turnovers and establish the run, I see the Cougars leaving Autzen Stadium with a win.
I'm going to have to disagree with both of you guys, and I'm going to say the Ducks are going to bounce back. While BYU is one of the hottest teams in the country right now after a dominant win against USF and the double OT thriller against Baylor, they haven't played in a toughened road environment like Autzen Stadium. Enter Bo Nix. He had a bounce-back game last week, albeit against Eastern Washington, but he had a 5-touchdown game for the first time in his career. Nix in the Oregon offense will be riding high after hanging 70, and BYU will have that big win hangover group of 5 teams seem to have. Oregon wins the thriller and gets back inside the top 20.
The Miami Hurricanes and Texas A&M Aggies will meet up at Kyle Field. Will the Aggies bounce back with a dub, or will the Hurricanes remain undefeated?
Texas A&M are in absolute survival mode. Jimbo Fisher's job hangs in the balance. I think this A&M squad has nothing to lose and will come out hungry. Texas has one of the best defenses in the country, allowing only 8.5 points per game. There will be a game where Tyler Van Dyke will struggle with the pass rush and his outside weapons will struggle to create space. The switch to Max Johnson is surely a step in the right direction. Give me A&M to make a statement win at home to save Jimbo from the hot seat.
Now, they may have a strong defense, but what about their offense? It seems as though Jimbo is stuck in 2014 because Haynes King and the Aggies have not looked good at all offensively this year. On the other hand, Tyler Van Dyke and Henry Parrish have looked great as the offense is averaging 50 points per game. I see Miami leaving College Station with a win, and more trouble awaits for the Aggies if they lose this game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with you on this one, Jimmy. This is what I like to call a battle of the pretenders. These are 2 teams people are high on every single year, and every single year, what do? They disappoint you. A&M already had their disappointment last week, which is why they will look like a half-decent team this week and beat the Hurricanes. While the Aggies lost last week, they only gave up 17 points, and it took Miami a whole half to take control against Southern Mississippi. I'm not completely sold on Tyler Van Dyke, and say what you want about A&M's offense, but their defense is stellar. The 12th man brings this one home, and Mario Cristobal will be answering questions of what went wrong.
The USC Trojans will host the Fresno State Bulldogs. Will the Trojans get their second home win, or will the feisty Bulldogs hand USC their first upset?
It's hard to find a team right now in the country with a better offense than USC. 53.5 points per game through 2 weeks. Skill groups are astonishing. Good O-line group. I think USC runs through Fresno State in convincing fashion, puts over 50 points up again, and the starters do not see the field in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Jimmy. The 3-headed combo of Caleb Williams, Travis Dye, and Jordan Addison has lived up to the hype, and Lincoln Riley and company might have one of the best offenses in the nation. I just don't see Fresno State being able to put up enough points to hang with USC, who is at home. Also, do not be shocked if we see both Addison and Williams in New York later on this year.
Madeline, you touched on USC at home. Maybe they'll actually sell this game out, but I'm going to go with the Trojans as well. Fresno State is coming off of a very tough loss at home to Oregon State, and the season will get a little tougher after traveling to the Coliseum. Lincoln Riley's offense has looked stellar this year, and while Caleb Williams has only completed 39 passes this year, he's averaging 15 yards per completion. Alex Grinch's defense will shut down senior quarterback Jake Hayner's offense, and it will be another blowout win for USC as they continue a very impressive start to the season.
Finally, will the Sooners keep up the momentum against historic foe Nebraska, earning their 3rd win?
Nebraska has been through the ringer this weekend. Honestly, it could be an absolute train wreck in Lincoln this weekend. But no matter how bad it gets up there, it is against 100% of their DNA to get blown out. OU wins this game without that much trouble in Brent Venables' first away game as head coach.
I'm going to have to go with Nebraska on this one. A reoccurring theme is Nebraska losing to everyone they play by single digits no matter who the team is. However, that was with head coach Scott Frost. Look for Casey Thompson and the Huskers to play inspired football against their rival and upset Brent Venables in his first ever road game as head coach. I think Nebraska takes this one with a final score of 27-24.
And we've talked about it all show. This is a huge rivalry between two teams who are on polar opposite paths. Nebraska will leave it all out on the field, and for me, that means points, points, and some more points. This is a team that averages 36 points a game and 5 touchdowns a game. Transfer running back Anthony Grant is averaging over 140 yards a game and an absurd 6.2 yards per carry. The Sooners will have to limit the Cornhuskers on the rushing attack if they want to avoid an upset in Lincoln. But with all that being said, the Sooners have only given up 16 points all year, and while it was against inferior opponents, I don't see OU's defense giving up 40-plus points. Give me the Sooners.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Game Day U. For Jimmy Wicks, Madeline Hunter, and Stone Weber, I'm Amaya Ward. Have another safe and fun college football Saturday.